He's a guy that has won, well, it depends who you talk with, but over 100 street fights. But once again, that's the street. This is MMA where everyone knows what they're doing.
Well, remember, there's also a little bit of a local legend that goes around with Charlie Brown. He actually was trying to convince a bull to get into its corral and didn't want to go, so he punched it in the head to make it go, and he knocked it out. That's the legend. Let's see what the reality is once he gets into the cage.
We will see what happens. Charlie Brown from Brazil, a guy that a lot of people enjoy watching, and once again, he's a street fight legend, but traditionally, street fighters haven't really done too well in MMA.
There's really only one street fighter that's actually done it pretty good, and the reality of it is that he really hasn't had tremendous success. He's just like 1 or 2 fights over 500. So street fighters aren't really known for their prowess in the ring, but remember, one-punch knockout power is all you really need.
Yeah, we'll see if he can do that tonight. And the man he's facing, Gabriel Gonzaga, and we watched Gabe in the last fight, which was the first jungle fight, and he actually performed very well, but just came up on the losing end against Fabricio Werdum. You know, I think a lot of that had to do with conditioning, Trick.
Yeah, it really did. Werdum came in just amazing shape. Gonzaga just had a problem with the shape. And of course, Werdum comes in. He's very heavy-handed. He's very heavy. You know, he's always moving, always pushing the pace. And basically, Gonzaga just got exhausted and couldn't continue. So,
you see, Charlie Brown, he is a big man facing another big, tough man tonight. It's going to be a very interesting battle here in Jungle Fight 2. Going against Fabricio Werdum was Gabriel Gonzaga in the last fight, and he battled him well, just came a little bit on the short end, won the first round, ended up losing the next couple rounds, and I think conditioning was a factor. Hopefully he's in better condition this time around.
I think he spent a little time working on his conditioning this time. I mean, you go back and take a look at that fight, you go, okay, well, how did I lose? What was the reason behind my loss? It wasn't the fact my technique was bad or I didn't do enough things, to actually win the fight. It's just I was out shape. I was out pushed. So he has to go back there, work a little bit on his conditioning. I'm sure that's what he did.
Going to be a very interesting battle here. Jungle Fight 2 in the beautiful city of Manaus, which is truly an international city. It's a city that, Trig, I think most people think is, locked away in the jungle, but there's some very first-class amenities here in Manaus.
Yeah, 5-star hotels. It's absolutely, you come out here, very American-friendly. You come down here, and the dollar exchange is still very, very well. Right now, it's about $2.50 of their dollars to $1 of ours, so the exchange rate is amazing. They love Americans down here, take great chance of us. It's just one of those things that we really enjoy doing and having as much time, as much fun down here. The thing is, it seems like every time I get down here, they always put me in some closet where I don't have any indoor plumbing. I found out that you have a king-size bed with air conditioning. You've got all these trips planned for the day, and I'm sleeping in a canoe. How come I get treated like the redheaded stepchild in the basement?
Because, Trig, you are the redheaded stepchild. Look at the beautiful pageantry here. It's amazing to see how these two shows have really progressed from Jungle Fight 1 to Jungle Fight 2. It's amazing.
Yeah, they've done a great job, the pageantry. They've definitely stepped it up a little bit. And you got a good shot there at Charlie Brown and then Gonzaga here in the other corner. They've done a great job of really making sure that everything is done in-house, everything is done handmade. That can be made handmade, obviously. The scaffolding for the lighting, of course, is not. But they try to do everything as best they can, and then keep the true flavor of the Amazon through all the fights. Charlie
Brown, we mentioned his street fighting career. He would love to keep this fight standing in this epic battle against Gabriel Gonzaga. And Gabe, we mentioned it before. This guy really came out of the blocks fast and furious. I'm sure he'll try to do the same. Underway, Jungle Fight 2. Ryan Bennett, Frank Trigg, nice to be along with you in beautiful Manaus, Brazil.
A little feeling out period between both of them. Charlie Brown tends not to start off too fast. He tends to take a little time about doing it. I don't know why that is, because mostly in the street fight, you got 10-15 seconds before this fight has to be over. But when he gets inside the ring, he tends to slow down a little bit. Gonzaga, seems to be picking up the pace. He wants to, he's using his hands a lot better than the first time that we saw him. But I have a feeling he's going to try and get this to the ground here relatively soon.
Yeah, Gonzaga, he tried that flying knee last time we saw him right off the top, and he exposed so much energy. I think that's one of the reasons why he got so tired. Here he's pacing himself. He's not just flying in doing, dumb things. He tried to shoot him for a single leg takedown and could not get it. Charlie Brown, very, very strong, and the local crowd loves Brown. Happy to see that he did not go down on that initial try at takedown.
The thing is, too, is that one of the things I've always said, a lot of these guys that don't really understand wrestling, they've got to shoot through the man. This man, he's only shooting to him, certain to the surface. You have to actually shoot through the guy, like the guy's actually 4 foot further beyond than where you're trying to get to. And And a guy like Charlie Brown is so big, so strong up top. You've got to shoot all the way through him and run him into the ground to actually get him to go down, on his back.
You look at all the weight Charlie Brown has. I mean, he's a good, and anywhere from the ballpark 50 to 75 pounds bigger than Gonzaga, and this could be interesting to see how much of a factor that plays into this fight.
Plus, too, with all of his street fight credentials and everything else that he's done, he's got a huge experience advantage over him, we think. But, of course, the street fights are all legend. There's very few cameras and very few people watching when a street fight actually happens. So it's very difficult to tell. And we'll see, is the prominent street fighter going to be as technically sound as the guy that's the true mixed martial arts that's spending time working on his whole game?
Well, the amazing part so far, anytime Brown does anything, this crowd erupts. I mean, landed 2 leg kicks, and crowd absolutely is behind Charlie Brown.
They're doing a really good job. He's doing a really good job staying out, not spending too much energy. Charlie doesn't look, you can't really tell about Charlie's shape because, most of the time his fights don't last very long. They really don't make it out of the first round. And, he's got to be a little bit careful now. He's really throwing that right hand, but he's throwing it down. He keeps doing that. Gonzaga's going to come across and give him a good hook, and it's going to finish this fight. Yeah,
he does got to keep his hands up higher. You never know. In mixed martial arts, kicks, punches, submissions, there's so many different ways to win. Once again, gets a kick, the crowd likes it. It's amazing to see how behind this crowd is of Charlie Brown.
It's one of those things where you get, wow, that was really a powerful kick. Kind of shook the legs off from Gonzaga. So we got to see how he's going to pull this off. And these guys stop those kicks from coming from Charlie. Otherwise, he's going to have a pretty sore leg later in these rounds.
Gonzaga landed a pretty good right hand that Charlie Brown just kind of shook off. Once again, another low leg kick. Yeah, I expect to see a lot more punches from Charlie Brown, but so far the leg kicks have been working for him.
Yeah, doing a pretty good job, really getting him moving along. I think Gonzaga needs to push the pace a little bit more, try to test Charlie's conditioning to see if he's actually been training super hard for this fight. Body types don't necessarily mean anything in mixed martial arts. Charlie seems to be a little bit heavy, a little bit more round. That in America would seem that this guy's out of shape and doesn't have that kind of wind. But that's not necessarily true. I've seen a lot of heavyweights that don't have the best bodies, that are in incredible shape. They can move very, very well, and we'll see if Charlie Brown's that kind of competitor.
Well, it's clear that Gonzaga respects the punching power of Charlie Brown because he really doesn't seem to want to engage. And once again, Charlie Brown gets the chant for him again. The crowd clearly behind Charlie Brown. We're in the first round of Jungle Fight 2, first fight of the evening. Nice to have you aboard on the Fight Network. So we continue to give you the most fights on the planet, everything from boxing to kickboxing, MMA to pro wrestling. www.thefightnetwork.com. See, both guys slowing down a little bit here.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was about to say, Ron. They've got to slow down a little bit, kind of picking their spots. Like I said, I'd really like to see these guys try to push the pace a little bit more. Obviously Gonzaga lost the last time because the shape wasn't that good, so I would like to see him try to test the shape now, to see it. And, of course, Charlie Brown, I'd like to see if Charlie's got the shape to push this fight.
And that might be part of the strategy right now from Gonzaga because he's done a lot of dancing around. I think he wants the big man to follow him around and try to have him waste some energy.
Well, the only way really to get some guy to waste energy is to start throwing at him a little bit more. And Gonzaga really isn't throwing at him enough. He's dancing around, but he's so far out as he's dancing, he's really under no threat. Charlie Brown's not. The only time he's under threat is when he steps forward like we just saw there. He needs to get inside, get just outside of Charlie's punch reach, just outside of his kick reach, so it forces him to try to punch and kick.
Well, that was the end of the first round. A uneventful first round. Both guys very much feeling each other out in the first round.
Yeah, almost got to call it more of a draw round. It really, nothing has really happened too much. As a judge, if I had to judge it, I probably would have gave it to Gonzaga a little bit because he seemed just to have more action. He just seemed to be, as you said earlier, Ryan, dancing around a little bit more as you look at these replays.
Well, you see he caught a right hand early, then a couple kicks by Charlie Brown landed. And I'm not sure if it was the early right that, I don't know if Gonzaga felt his power or what, but he sure didn't engage much. It was one of those things, quick combination of 1-2 and then getting right back out.
Charlie is so strong. He is so big. He is so strong that, even if he hits you a little bit, you're probably going to feel it. And I think Gonzaga's a little worried about his punching power, because his reputation precedes him. So we'll see if that's actually the case coming into the second round.
Well, Gonzaga said he would stand and bang, but right now he has not done that. Maybe and Trick, there's so much psychology in the fight game. I mean, you can say one thing and try to get into your opponent's mind that, oh, good, he's going to stand in front of me and then maybe shoot in and try for a takedown. Nice kick there.
Wow.
Landed by Gonzaga.
Good job. Gonzaga's did a good job of changing. Charlie came in for a shot. He sprawled out as you saw him come back up. Good kick to the head. Doing a good job of going high-low now. He's really mixing up, attacking the head and attacking the body, too.
You want to make your opponent think if you can, and that's what Gonzaga was trying to do there. A couple quick punches, got the quick shot, now back at his feet again. Charlie Brown, we don't know if he can go, the typical 3 5-minute rounds or not. I guess we're going to find out tonight. Well, maybe. We'll see if there's a knockout or not, but we will see if this can go all 3 rounds. Nice kick there by Brown, lands again.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job. I'm super impressed. I'm really amazed at his ability to keep Brown kind of off balance a little bit, keep Brown off steady a little bit. Gonzaga's doing a good job now moving in and out. Much better job than they did the first round.
Gonzaga's been very patient in this fight. You see Brown try to throw a left hand that misses.
Yeah, Brown's kind of swinging a little bit now. You see that big miss left hook. He's really putting a lot of power. He's only throwing power punches now. He's not really trying to pepper with any shots, trying to set anything up. He's just trying to get that one-punch knockout now. And that might be a detriment because it takes a lot of energy to do that. It takes a lot of energy to make that happen.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I think is forgotten a lot is just the simple jab. You mentioned him swinging for the fences with left and right hooks. If he could just snap that jab out there, could set up a big right hand.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing is that a good jab. He's got some good leg kicks. Do a good jab, a good leg kick or two to get Gonzaga thinking, is he going high, is he going low, and all of a sudden then you'll be able to get that sneak in that big power hand for the knockout.
Well, both guys content with 1 or 2 shots and then moving in and out. Like to see just a little bit more fighting and a little more engaging here between these two fighters.
Yeah, both these guys are going to push the pace. I mean, it really isn't any good, to stand here and kind of dance around. You really got to get in and out at this point.
Oh,
wow.
There's a good jab. Hey, I mentioned the jab that knocked down Gonzaga. Look at the power he has. Now, Charlie Brown immediately going into a guillotine choke.
Geez, that's crazy. I mean, he threw out that single jab, snapped him down. It was a good, powerful jab, good stiff jab, real quick. And then, went to that guillotine choke. But you're not going to be able to cash that on Gonzaga like that. Wow, great jab.
He continues to fire, man. I tell you, he's got a lot of power. And here comes out the yellow card for holding on to the ropes. That is not good for Brown.
Yeah,
wow.
Because that should take a point away, because he got the yellow card. That's a point loss. So if he loses this round, it'll be a 10-8 round. If he wins this round, it'll actually be a 9-9 round. So, he's really got to do a better job of not grabbing the ropes and coming forward and trying to push the pace with Gonzaga now.
Yeah, he landed a couple great jabs, and now it's taking a little bit away from him. That yellow card, as Trig mentioned, point away, and now he's got to get back after it. And now he continues to fire that jab. He saw how effective it was. I mean, that's just the power Brown's got, knocking a guy down with a jab. You don't see that very often in the MMA.
No, that's really good. That just shows the strength and the power in his hips. And he did a good job, too, because he turned his hip over, turned his shoulder over. That was a really good punch. I'd like to see him doing a lot more jab-kick combinations. I think it would be very effective for him right now.
Absolutely. He's landed that leg kick various times. And you can see, a little bit of swelling now on the left leg of Gonzaga, taking a few of those big leg kicks from Charlie Brown.
Gonzaga really hasn't done much in this round other than after he got hit with that stiff jab, jumping in and trying to drive Charlie against the ropes. So other than that, he really hasn't done anything this round.
Be interesting to see what happens here, how the judges score, because it was a very good round for Charlie Brown, but he did get the yellow card. Got the knockdown, but later in the round, holding onto the ropes will cost him a little bit. Another leg kick lands. And now Gonzaga backing up every time that Brown throws, and that time Gonzaga actually landed a wild overhand right. Kind of was ducking in and landed a big overhand right. Now Gonzaga trying to close the distance here. Now Brown keeping him off by snapping the jab, then snapping a kick in there as well.
See, Brown needs to go and do, like I said, he needs to do more of that. More jab, more kick. Keep him guessing. He's not getting Gonzaga guessing too much, so it's hard to get stuff on him.
As we're winding down this second round, Brown and Gonzaga doing battle here in Jungle Fight. And now Gonzaga, once again, that's kind of been his plan. He just kind of fires a 1-2 combination, then backs right back out,
Yeah,
kind of jumps back in.
Yeah, he needs to do a 1-2, step to the side instead of backing straight out. He needs a 1-2, step to the side. Oh, good job.
Now Brown goes down. The first time we've seen this, and now Gonzaga's going to jump in and try to finish the fight. Oh, the round saves him. Wow.
Wow, yeah, that was a good job. That is what should have happened a lot earlier from either one of these two competitors. If that happened earlier, we've been a lot better off. They would have been able to finish the fight a lot quicker. That was a good job. 10, 15 more seconds in the round, Gonzaga would have finished off Charlie Brown. The bell saved Charlie at the end of that round. He didn't have much defense mounting on that at that point.
Got some bad luck for Gonzaga. Here we go, Trigger. This was the end of the round, and Brown in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, like I said, 10 or 15 more seconds. With Gonzaga on top of you, rain down blows like this, he gets his hips settled in. He's starting to bang on his face pretty good. Charlie had his hands separated from his face. He wasn't really protecting himself. It was going to be a long round. That would have been a quick finish to this fight.
So here we go, third and final round. Gabriel Gonzaga taking on Charlie Brown. Been a very close fight. Will the winner come out? Will the winner be the one who wins this round? That's the question. Gonzaga quickly takes the center of the ring. Wants to land a knee. It was kind of a half-hearted effort as Charlie Brown was actually pulling away from him in the clinch. Good right hand lands by Brown. He can still snap that right hand. Nice kick, and there's the takedown. Good takedown by Gonzaga. Now this is going to be interesting to see how good Charlie Brown is on the ground. He's trying to get his guard in there, and now he goes through the ropes.
He got pushed out of the ropes. Good timing to be pushed out of the ropes. If there ever is a good time to be kind of elusive a little bit. It's a good job using your surroundings. Charlie was starting to get hit, so he kind of pushed himself out of bounds a little bit to make a reset. And now he has a better chance now of staying inside the game, staying in the fight.
You see how tired Charlie's getting now. He took him a while just to get up. And I think he's really starting to wear down. Third and final round. Remember, this is 3 5-minute rounds. We're talking about 15 minutes of fighting. And for those armchair quarterbacks at home, if you've never been in the fight game, 15 minutes is a very long time.
Oh, wow.
That's it. That's it.
Wow, that's it. He just stopped.
He took a left-right combination and just stopped.
Wow, that's amazing. He got hit way too hard. He just couldn't handle the punching power. And the longer this fight went on, the more exhausted he was going to get, and he didn't see himself mounting any kind of attack. He missed 4 big, huge punches, and completely whiffed against Gonzaga, in the beginning of this round, and then I just guess he figured out that it was just too much for him right now.
Gabriel.
What a strange finish to this fight! Wow. Gabriel Gonzaga landed a left-right combination, and Charlie Brown simply turned his head. Said he had enough.
Yeah, that is really strange. But, I guess, every man should know his own body better than anybody else. And, obviously Charlie Brown was having too much.